Hola, bienvenidos a Espacio Gente para el diario La Estrella de Panamá. Les saluda Yandira Núñez. Hoy nos acompaña Burcin Turkkan, quien es la presidenta de Skål International y la séptima mujer en ocupar esta posición desde el año 2002. Burcin, welcome to La Estrella de Panamá. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
After the pandemic, how has the tourism market changed?
Yes, wow. It has changed a lot. I mean, this pandemic has been tough for sure for the travel and tourism industry. We are seeing a lot of changes in terms of how the businesses are operated and how they should be operated. Definitely now we see technology taking over within the businesses. Every business needs to follow the technological trends. We do see changes in the way the businesses are operated because we see a big shift in the human resources in the travel and tourism industry. We have been losing our resources to other industries. So with that also kicks in, with the pandemic, the changing regulations for traveling. So businesses have to be really flexible how they operate. They need to be really constantly following up what the current update is with the regulations. And I think this is going to go on for a while as we do see, some of, the waves coming back in. The businesses will have to be ready for any change that is coming up. But I think most important component that every business has to look into is, I think the technology, the tomorrow's technology is here, it's today. We do see a lot of practices of AI, big data, even, simply making reservations. We see those chatbots, they are, robots that are operating in the websites and all that. We see a high use of those. And I think we're going to see more of those happening.
What kind of opportunities for tourism travelers could we have in the future?
While, we're seeing changes, there are new business opportunities happening. For the travel and tourism, in terms of, again, I would say, the technology is bringing opportunities. So we already see in the convention business, for example, although, there is in-person meeting, we do see a lot of conventions adding the hybrid component. So this has become an additional business opportunity for companies, that are involved in convention to approach with.
You have said that leadership is necessary in this industry. How should a post-pandemic leader in the tourism be?
The pandemic has taught us that we need to be flexible, we need to be ready for a crisis. So I think leaders learning from this experience, we need now transformational leaders. They need to be ready to transform their companies, corporations, or associations based on what is happening, based on the changes technology-wise, how is the trend among their stakeholders are changing, consumers, guests, customers, all these stakeholders, they need to be observed, and the business operation needs to be transformed based on the new expectations that everyone has around us. So for that, I would say the new leadership after pandemic is a transformational leadership.
International connectivity is vital for the sector. What do you think about the response of governments in terms of opening to air traffic and travelers?
It is time to get back to business. As we have the vaccination rates going up in many countries, I think now it's been the right time to go and open up the air traffic because the travel is resuming, and many of our international partners on Skål International, the resources that we have, is telling us that the second half of 2022, in terms of traveling, will be close to 2019 numbers because we have a pent-up demand. Everyone has been holding up their travel plans and all that, so we will see, increase in the air traffic more because people want to travel. And I think it was the right time to lift up some of these restrictions. I think, the rate of the vaccination percentages being up, I think that's one of the reasons, and we need to continue the vaccinations in the countries that did not have the opportunity or access as some of the leading countries had. I think this needs to continue as the vaccination rates go higher, restrictions will be lowered as well. That's what I think.
Now, in this post-pandemic market, how do you think is the new profile of the traveler? What is the new traveler looking for?
The new travelers are looking for more personalized service. I can tell you that because during these 2 years, we've been living a virtual life. So we've all been, on our phones, and a lot of new technologies have been, introduced. Like now travelers, before they travel anywhere, they want to see the virtual environment. So as you know, there are apps now which gives you the 360-degree view of, the hotel you're going to visit, the beach view that you're going to have at the restaurant that you're going to dine. So the new traveler wants to have, a clear picture, a little bit more clear picture of, what they're going to experience. And then they expect more personalized service. Why? Because again, with the technological improvements, now, a lot of companies having, using some of the softwares that gather so much information, and not only in travel and tourism, in other fields as well, we are greeted more personalized. Why? Because they have some of the information about our, habits and interests gathered, and they cater it to us, they serve us accordingly. So I think, today's traveler and tomorrow's traveler will have more expectation of that. They will prefer to travel to places, stay at the hotels that will be able to show them more personalized service.
What challenges have been identified for tourism in Latin America?
I think if we're talking about the pandemic duration, I think the challenge was, of course, the low rate of the vaccinations, or not the low rate, but maybe the slow progress of the vaccination that has caused some challenges for the industry. And we do know that a lot of our members are affected during this period. But I've been having meetings with many of our Latin American clubs, and they are back on, they are strong. They are, standing strong, and we all working together. We want to, promote their countries through our Skål network as much as we can, and bring back their numbers up pre-pandemic.
What can you tell us about the aid found from Skål International to Ukrainian refugees?
Of course, we are devastated watching what's happening in Ukraine. As Skål International, we are absolutely against any armed conflict. So we are looking into helping the Ukrainian refugees. Already, as soon as this conflict has started and the refugees have started to cross the borders in Europe, our clubs in Europe have been on the ground helping them, especially our Skål International Bucharest Club, Romania, has been very active. The members have been opening their hotels, their transportation services to the refugees. So with that, and with the request and demand from our members, we immediately started an aid committee under Skål International. So we are now collecting funds, and these funds are going to be used, number one, for emergency aid for the refugees and the borders. Number two, they're going to be donated to UNICEF for the children. And number three, we're going to use these funds in the restructuring of Ukraine in the project. So this is our goal with this aid committee.
Thank you so much, Burcin, for being with us.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Tenemos que abordar, Julio, una de tus publicaciones